It's August 22nd here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. We begin with these stories making the headlines at this hour, starting with Japan's Fukushima wastewater release plan. Japan is reportedly set to decide today when to begin releasing wastewater, which could take place as early as this Thursday. North Korea has notified Japan's Coast Guard that it will go for what is believed to be the regime's second attempt to launch a spy satellite between this Thursday and next Thursday. British nurse Lucy Letby is sentenced to spend the rest of her life in prison for murdering 7 babies and attempting to kill 6 others. We start this morning over in Japan. The country is reportedly set to announce today when it will start to release Fukushima wastewater into the ocean. Now, the start date for the 3-decade-long process could be this Thursday. Lee Seung-jae reports.
During a cabinet meeting slated for Tuesday, the Japanese government will announce the date on which the wastewater from the crippled Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant will begin being released into the ocean. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is set to oversee the meeting, along with the Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry and the Minister of Reconstruction. According to Japan's Kyodo News and NHK, the release of the wastewater could begin as early as this Thursday. The cabinet meeting follows a sit-down between Kishida and the leader of Japan's fisheries industry, Masanobu Sakamoto, at the Prime Minister's office on Monday afternoon. While the Prime Minister expressed Japan's determination to take full responsibility to ensure safety so that the livelihoods of those in the fishing industry won't be affected, Sakamoto said even if it's scientifically safe, it doesn't get rid of the reputational damage, saying they are still against the release. Local media outlets have also reported that the reason Kishida is eyeing an early release within this month is to avoid the fishing season in Fukushima, which begins in September. If the release of the wastewater goes ahead as planned, it would be 2 years and 4 months since then Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga officially announced that the release would take place. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
North Korea has accused South Korea, the U.S. and Japan of provoking a nuclear war through the Camp David trilateral summit. According to the regime state-run media on Tuesday, the prospect of an unprecedented thermonuclear war on the Korean peninsula is approaching reality. He added that the 3 countries adopted a series of documents to detail, plan, and formulate the provocation of a nuclear war on the peninsula through the meeting at Camp David. The North also slammed the annual Ulji Freedom Shield exercise, saying the drills could trigger a thermonuclear war in the region. Now, meanwhile, the North Korea is looking to go for what appears to be its second attempt to launch a spy satellite sometime between this Thursday and the end of the month. Now, that attempt will come after its first failure back in May. Our North Korean Affairs correspondent Lee Dae-hyun reports.
North Korea will likely launch a satellite between August 24th and 31st in the direction of the West Sea. The Japanese Coast Guard said that Pyongyang gave a notification early on Tuesday saying that it will designate 3 marine danger zones. These zones will include 2 areas in the West Sea and the eastern part of the Philippines Pacific coast. Kyodo News reported that the planned launch seems to be a retry of Pyongyang's military reconnaissance satellite launch in May. North Korea had notified Japan about that launch on May 29th and launched a satellite 2 days after that, but it failed as the rocket fell into the West Sea minutes after launch. North Korea's Aerospace Development Administration said that the newly built engine and fuel that had been used to launch the rocket were the reasons for the failure and pledged to try again soon. Experts say that May's launch was possibly affected by political issues, as there could have been pressure for North Korea to succeed in putting the satellite into orbit ahead of the so-called Victory Day in July. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has reportedly ordered officials to finish the technological preparation for a military spy satellite as one of the regime's top priorities for the second half of the year. South Korea's National Intelligence Service earlier last week said that the satellite will likely be launched in late August or early September to celebrate National Foundation Day next month. Meanwhile, following the notice, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida reportedly called on related ministries to cooperate in gathering information and said that Tokyo will closely work with Seoul and Washington on the matter. The Japanese Coast Guard has also issued an alert to warn mariners. Lee Dae-hyun, Arirang News.
It's been 2 weeks since the outbreak of deadly wildfires in Maui, and still residents there are grappling with historic loss, with 850 people still missing. We're joined by the president of the Maui Korean Community Association, Kelly Son-hui. Thanks for joining us.
Aloha.
President Hui, first of all, now can you tell us how things are where you're at right now? I mean, what's the situation like, and what's the view from the ground in Maui over there?
Aloha. I am located in town area of Kaului on Maui due to work. About 40-minute drive from Lahaina and Kula fire area.
Definitely. What's the situation like over there at the moment?
It's very devastating, and but we are very on support and share mode. No matter what side of the island we are home, we are missing our families and friends and our neighbors.
Definitely. That's as far as I know, the death toll is now at 114, with 850 people still missing as of Monday. Now, why is it taking so long to locate those people?
The local agency, including Maui County Office, Maui, all these volunteers are working their best, but it is hard to locate these missing people because of it is, as we all know, everything is all bonded, to the ground. So hard to locate these people's. I mean, it's so hard to say.
Right. And now there were reports there was no siren to alert people of the fire from the local authorities in Maui. President Yu, is that so? I mean, what message or warning did you get when the fire first broke out?
In the past, sirens were used for tsunami and air attack only. In fact, there are two different sound modes on the siren because of that. Of course, any system should be evaluate and improve. Our community needs some changes. Personally, I did not wish any text alert. I think no alert because I do not live in the affected area, but some of my friends have.
Now, the question is, are all Korean people living in Hawaii safe from the fire? I mean, how many residents are there?
Yes, we Korean Americans here in Maui, we are safe.
That's good.
I am very, very thankful. There were casual checking recently, census taken recently in 2021, and it recorded that 164,000 people are living here in Maui, and Korean percentage was only 2.6%. So it's less than 430 Korean people reside here.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned this earlier, people in Hawaii are bonded more than ever. And I hear the Korean society there has been actively stepping up to help those in need. What kind of volunteer work has there been? I mean, what do those hit hardest by the disaster need the most at the moment?
Yes, within 24 hours of road closure, we gathered around our church group and made plans of practical support for those who are stuck on the road. We work closely with Consul General of South Korea in Honolulu to help address specific issue related to Korean tourists.
All right, President Yoon, thank you so much for connecting with us this morning. Please do stay safe there.
Thank you so much. And we need to plan for the future in our home, our oceans, mountain hills. We need our foundation and economy back, which is tourism. Hopefully, a lot of people in the future, they will come back, enjoy our a beautiful ocean and beautiful mountainside, which is Haleakala Mountains, and other east side of Maui also, and we'll be having a great memories there and just hoping to get our tourism back again.
Right. Hopefully the recovery is done as quickly as possible. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
President Yoon is likely to replace his industry minister on Tuesday as part of a mini reshuffle expected this week. According to an official, Yoon is likely to name current Minister of Government Policy Bang Moon-gyu as the Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy. During his years in public service, Bang has worked in the ministries of Finance, Health and Agriculture, and also headed the Export-Import Bank of Korea. The top office is also set to replace the chief of the National Agency for Administrative City Construction, with the agency under fire for the deadly flooding of an underpass in Osong, which killed 14 people last month. Also this week, the top office is expected to name the new Supreme Court Chief Justice, as the incumbent Kim Myung-soo is set to finish his tenure next month. This morning, the South Korean government and the ruling People Power Party are threshing out ways to manage the so-called "don't ask why" crimes here in the country. President Yoon has also called for fundamental measures to prevent such inhumane violence. Our Kim Do-yeon has this report.
With recent violent crimes shocking the nation, President Yoon has again ordered measures to protect residents. According to the presidential office on Monday, at his weekly meeting with Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, Yoon told Han, quote, to come up with fundamental measures against senseless crimes, including strengthening law enforcement capabilities. The order comes as a woman was declared dead on Saturday after being brutally attacked with brass knuckles in an alleged attempted rape at a park in Seoul Silim neighborhood on Thursday. This is the third time this month that President Yoon has ordered measures to protect the people from violent crimes. The first one this month came immediately after a man rammed his car into pedestrians and then went on a knife rampage against bystanders in the Bundang-gu district of Seongnam City. The incident also prompted the police to roll out a special public safety exercise announcing that officers would selectively inspect anyone they suspected of carrying weapons or giving suspicious signs in accordance with due legal process. Since the police announcement of special measures, 227 people have been detained or cautioned on suspicions related to the use or potential use of weapons. 20 of these were for attempted murder or preparing to commit the crime, while 113 were for offenses such as aggravated assault or threats of physical violence. Ministries and government agencies are continuing to collaborate to come up with ways to make the streets safer. The Ministry of the Interior and Safety's Police Division chaired a meeting with representatives from the Justice and Health Ministries and the National Police Agency on how to strengthen responses to the recent senseless crimes. They discussed expanding the nation's safety infrastructure, including setting up more CCTVs in streets, ways to enhance a collaborative response against psychologically disturbed patients, and supporting the activities of community-based watch groups. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
The highest number of people have attended the United States' largest K-pop festival, KCON LA. The organizers, CJ said on Monday that a total of 140,000 people attended this year's event, where 21 K-pop groups, including IVE, ITZY, and Stray Kids, performed. An average of 40,000 people a day gather at the LA Convention Center and Crypto Arena in LA for 3 days from August 18th to the 20th. It's also 50,000 more audience than last year's 2-day event. In addition, 5.9 million people from around the world enjoy the event virtually. Electronic devices we use in our daily lives put out low-frequency electromagnetic waves that amass in our bodies. And now a domestic research team has found a way to collect the electric energy that passes through our body as a means of treatment. Yoon tells us more.
Electronics that we use in our daily lives, like smartphones and laptops, all emit electromagnetic waves. The energy from these devices finally accumulates in our bodies and is transmitted upon contact. A team of South Korean researchers have developed technology that uses this concept to vitalize cells in the body. Attaching a localized electric field concentrates the energy to the desired area.
The electric energy is focused to where the electric field is desired, so external electric energy stimulates internal physiological activities.
The research team attached an electric field device to a person's legs, and while exposed to the electrical energy, moved the leg muscles. Results showed the muscle fatigue decreased by 6.4%. When the electrical energy stimulates the muscle cells, muscle strength is enhanced, while muscle fatigue is reduced. Now, when this technology was integrated into material used for sportswear, similar effects of the electrical energy stimulation was seen.
The energy from electronic devices is at low frequencies, so it passes through without significant effect on the human body. But collecting this electrical energy can cause electrical cell stimulation.
This means that without using a separate battery or wires, a simple electric field patch could allow people to take advantage of electrical energy stimulation in their daily lives. The research team has also noticed the effect of energy concentration vitalizing cells on the skin as well as on the scalp, which could mean future electric energy use for the treatment of scars and hair loss. Yoon, Arirang News.
Good morning, I'm Matthew Ashley, and we now turn over to stories from around the world. We begin in the United Kingdom, where a neonatal nurse has been given multiple life sentences for the murder of 7 babies and the attempted murder of 6 others. 33-year-old Lucy Letby was sentenced on Monday without the possibility of parole. Letby refused to appear in court, drawing condemnation that the defendant did not need to attend her sentencing and face her victims' families. Now, she was found guilty on Friday of fatally injecting babies with air, overfeeding them with milk, physically assaulting them and poisoning them with insulin. Letby was given a whole life term for each offence, committed at a hospital in Chester between June 2015 and June 2016. Such life sentences are rare in the UK and only given to those who commit the worst crimes. Now, Saudi Arabian border guards have been accused of firing on and killing hundreds of African migrants trying to cross the border from Yemen in a Human Rights Watch report released on Monday. Along with the killings, the report also accused border guards of beating victims with rocks and bars, maiming others, and forcing male migrants to rape women over 15 months between March 2022 and June of this year. The report included dozens of interviews with victims, satellite images and photographs of incidents, and forensic analysis of the wounds. Many of the migrants came from Ethiopia, hoping to escape poverty, drought, and political repression. The Saudi government has denied the accusations, calling them inaccurate and not based on reliable sources. Now, a judge in the U.S. state of Georgia has set bail for former President Donald Trump at $200,000. The conditions set on Monday mean that Trump can remain free pending his election interference case, as long as he does not threaten witnesses, including through social media posts. He also cannot have contact with any of his 18 co-defendants in the case without a lawyer present. Trump has been handed 13 charges, including racketeering and making false statements. He has denied any wrongdoing. The former president and his co-accused have until Friday midday to surrender themselves to a court in Atlanta, where they are expected to pay their respective bail bonds. And finally, the president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation has apologized for giving one of Spain's Women's World Cup winners an unwanted kiss on the lips. In a video statement on Monday, President Luis Rubiales said that he made a mistake and that there was no bad faith. At the Women's World Cup final in Sydney on Sunday, Rubiales kissed star player Jennifer Hermoso after she received her gold medal, following Spain's 1-0 victory over England. Hermoso indicated in a locker room interview that she did not like the interaction, but added in later interviews that there was nothing more to it and that it happened in the emotion of the moment.
Good morning. Those of us in the western parts of the country in Jeju Island need an umbrella. Rain clouds are gradually approaching the Korean peninsula. It has already started to rain on some of the west coast and Jeju Island. 30 to 60 millimeters an hour of heavy rain will pound down in western regions. And until tomorrow, northern parts of Gyeonggi-do could see more than 150 millimeters. The capital could see more than 120 millimeters. It felt quite hot all through the day yesterday in Seoul with no passing rain. But today, along with showers, we will get heat relief. Meanwhile, eastern parts of the country will continue to sizzle with highs hovering around 33 degrees Celsius, hotter in Gangneung, topping out at 35 degrees under sunny skies. But parts of Gyeongsang-do provinces could see some periodic showers late in the afternoon. Seoul will be going up to 30 degrees, Gyeongju topping out at 35. Now, this round of rain continues into Friday, but after the rain, we could get one step closer to autumn. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the international weather conditions.
We thank you for watching New Day at Arirang. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Korea time.